Hello, thank you for tuning in to this telecast. This is the Diaspora Panel, the voice of the diaspora, where we discuss politics and international affairs. I have with me in the studio, I have Mr. Olaito Adedigba, who is based in the United States of America. You are welcome, Mr. Adedigba.
It's my pleasure. I'll be us back at home. Glad to know you are there.
I also have Mr. Ola Lawal, who is based in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are also welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Today, we're going to discuss Peter Obi and the Obidient movement. What's next for the Obidient movement? Before we continue, I just want to advise, if this is your first time of seeing our video, please click on the subscription button, which means that anytime we do a new video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. And if you have any information for us, or you want to ask us any question, or you want to have any, or you have any query, please send your email to info@diasporapanel.com. So as I was saying, in the last few weeks, there's been rumpus in the House of the Labour Party. The Labour Party has been, seems to have been turned upside down. There's a lot of accusation flying here and there from the chairman to the other members of the party. He was been accused of forgery, he's been accused of so many things. And recently, he did a conference, is it what they call it, a convention for the party. And in the convention that he did, practically all the interest groups were not represented. Their 2023 presidential flag bearer, Peter Obi, was not there. INEC was not there. And all the, they have the Labour Party has one governor, and one of the southeastern states, the governor wasn't there. And so many other interest groups should be there, but not there. In fact, for the fact that INEC was not in the convention makes it null and void. So now, based on all this, Peter Obi himself, who made Labour to become very, very visible because it was a flag bearer in the last election, has come out to say that if Labour did not resolve this problem soon as possible, he is likely to find, another party, for the Obidient movement. So the question we would like to ask is, will Peter Obi go back to the PDP where he came from, or with the Obidient movement from their own party? So I'm going to start with you, Shukwa, because I know that you have a heart for the Obidient movement. So we are going to start from you. Do you see Peter Obi going back to the PDP?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think first and foremost, we need to kind of take a step back to look at how we got here. Personally, it seems to me that the last couple of events in the last year or year and a half, what we saw in the months leading to the 2023 election, in which the PDP as a political party was really, massively decimated, to me, is a plan by the APC to try and disorganize the opposition parties. That succeeded with the PDP. And I think we will all agree that up till now, the PDP as a political party has still not recovered from all of the things that happened. I think the next item in the playbook is to do the same with the Labour Party. I don't think anybody expected the Labour Party to do as well as they did in the last election. Ultimately, it seems that the Labour movement that galvanized with the Obedience into the Labour Party is probably the only formidable opposition that the APC government currently has. So if we look at it from that perspective, all of the troubles that the Labour Party has had, even from the time of Lamidi Apapa, and then up till now, is an indication, to me personally, that the APC is out to decimate the Labour Party as well. Now, we can all argue that is who actually owns the Labour Party right now? Is it the Labour movement? Can the Labour movement even technically own a party? I don't think so. But it is very clear that there are elements within that movement that are working, in my opinion, for the APC to cause disarray in the party. It's only a party that is standing, that is galvanizing around political ideologies and a leader that can do well in an election. That is what I think is happening. To answer your question, from kind of that foundation, I don't see Peter Obi going back to the PDP. I think the PDP has so many problems that it needs to resolve. Obi coming back, I think, is going to add, to a lot of the existing challenges that they have that they need to resolve as a political party. What I see happening actually is the Obidient movement coming out of the Labour Party, galvanizing around their candidates to form their own political party where they have total control and where they can get rid of all of the elements within the Labour movement that may be working against the interests of the party.
Thank you very much. Lighton, we saw Peter Obi, who told us during the last election that he's ready to rule Nigeria. He has what it takes to rule Nigeria. But he can't even control a party. Obi cannot put a party together. So if Obi had been elected as president, is this what we will have been dealing with? And what do you think is next now for Obi after all the problems in the Labour Party? And what do you think will be his next move?
Yeah, I believe Obi came to power, came to hijack the Obidient movement, came to hijack the Labour Party from those guys that were, the Aboriginal people in Labour Party. Don't forget, Labour Party, was bad with the amalgamation of all Labour in Nigeria. Labour movement. That okay, they want to wrestle power, they want to do this, they want to do that. And eventually, when Obi came, they discovered a name, a big fish, a political heavyweight that can champion their cause. Obi left Abga, don't forget.
Right? From Abga to PDP and then
from Abga to PDP again. So you know what it means. And what we are saying in essence is Obi, he brought all the people down to Labour. And not only Labour, a lot of sympathizers from PDP, from APC. They follow Obi, right? So a lot of Nigerians, Obi, I have no doubt that Obi will leave Labour Party because Ajero and all these people, the way they are doing, Ajero cannot account for the money he collected for you said Labour Party.
No, Abure, you mean?
Sorry, Abure. Abure, all the money he collected. You said Labour Party is a Labour Party. Yeah, Labour. Some people got as much as 25 million naira nomination form. They have rep, they have senator, they have House of Assembly member. So all these things, I don't know. Why are we crazy about the money? We need people who can serve, not these people, the big bags. Right? The big bags, they want to make their money. It is people who have the genuine interest of the people at the back of their mind. Right? So, but now, back to your question, Obi will leave with his party. Maybe they will go and form another party. But I don't see Obi going to APC or going to PDP. Right? They will form a new party. That is my take.
Thank you very much. Shukwo, the question I want us to talk about again is, we know that Obi is a big politician and a big player in the Nigerian political scene. We know he has this massive Obidient movement. Now, this Obidient movement, unfortunately, they are a movement, they are not a party. So right now, there are, three main political parties, APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party. Now, Obi made the Labour Party what it is today. Apart from that Labour Party, there are the other two parties are the two big parties, the PDP and the APC. So we know that if Obi has remained in the PDP, and if he had been their flag bearer, and if he had been able to put together the same Obidient movement while in PDP, I don't think the APC will have won the election. So if you are to advise Obi, will you advise Obi to stay in this Labour Party and take control, rebuild the party, fix the party, call all the parties together? Be a true, be presidential, get everybody together, resolve this problem. If you want to resolve Nigeria's problem, resolve the problem of your party first. Or will you tell him to go to PDP and go and face the problem in PDP? Or will you tell him to go to form an obedient party? In which case, he will bring all the obedience together in one party and then, get ready for 2027. What advice will you be given to Obi and the Obidient movement?
Well, thank you very much. You have a very good point, and you actually strike a very important issue, because going to form another party does not make that new party again immune from deliberate intimidation, and opposition forces working against their survival. I think any movement that galvanizes into a political party will have that challenge. As a matter of fact, I think the Labour Party was probably the quickest for the Obidient movement to galvanize into, in the leading months of, to the 2023 presidential election. There are other options actually, but none of these options comes 100% risk-free. As at the time that we were having the 2023 elections, there were two major political parties. It's the APC and the PDP. But there are other, smaller, strong parties. There's the Social Democratic Party. There is APGA. Neither of these two parties have a strong presence throughout the 36 states, but they do have strong presence in certain areas. Obviously, you can kind of coalesce where they're strong and then grow, into other parts of the country. That's another option too. So, for all it takes, Obi may not necessarily form a new party, but the Obidient movement, may form an alliance, maybe with the SDP or with APGA, and kind of galvanize into another party. As a matter of fact, another option actually is likely even for that movement to work with the SDP and APGA and actually galvanize into a bigger party. That's an option. But your point is very, very important. Even if that were to happen, it will not stop bigger parties. And if I can probably say, people may disagree with me, probably more corrupt parties like the APC to meddle into the affairs of whatever that new movement is. So at any point in time, that issue of being presidential, being able to actually form a political party, get parties together, resolve issues, put up a platform and actually contest effectively in an election becomes an important thing that Obi needs to demonstrate. So either he does that by forming a brand new political party, or by forming an alliance with smaller, stronger parties. So APGA, for example, in the Southeast, SDP probably in the Southwest, and then maybe some other small minority parties in the North to form a massive movement. Or, you know, he starts a brand new political party. He will still have to deal with the issue of other stronger parties meddling in their affairs. So there is no straight-cut answer. I think there's a lot to benefit if Obi can remain in Labour Party, fix the issue of the Labour Party, because doing so will demonstrate that he can actually be presidential. He can actually work across ethnic and tribal lines. He can work across religious lines and actually put a formidable party together. There's no question, there's no doubt that the Obidient movement will stand and galvanize around Obi. As a matter of fact, if he's able to stabilize the Labour Party, I will even push that the Labour Party even look beyond that to form alliances with some of the smaller parties, SDP, APGA, into a bigger political party that can actually compete with the APC.
Thank you very much. Lighton, you are going to say something?
With what Shukwa just said, I can pick a hole in it. Obi is not a nationalist leader, or why would I put it? He's not out to. He's not a statesman. Sorry to use that word. Obi, all what he has been doing is to appeal to sentiment. He went from churches to churches, from mosque to mosque, sectional interest. You see, Obi, he doesn't have what you have with talk. He find it extremely difficult to control, right, the apparatus of the party. On no account, if there is any differences, able to manage it. No, however the case might be, Obi is not out to do that. The last election is a little test. Was a little test, right?
Okay, let me stop you there. The question I really want you to answer, the question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, just before you ask the question, if I may just quickly respond to that. You see, what you call sentiments, Nigerians actually see it in a different way. And I'll give you examples. Obi, beyond the election, has shown up in all of the communities where there has been problems. States, when there were the killings in the Ibadan, when they had all of the explosions and everything. We can call them sentiments, but Obi is actually playing. You see, this is why it seems that the Obidient movement has not actually scattered, because he is doing things that is resonating with the average Nigerian. The PDP so far has been nowhere to be found in any of these things that has occurred. So I honestly think that there is an opportunity for Obi, but there is equally a challenge. I believe that the challenge is, can he resolve the issues in the Labour Party, bring all warring factions together, get rid of party members that may be engaging in anti-party activities, put together a formidable campaign platform, recruit credible candidates that can contest that. That is the test that is before him. Because if he can do that, he will show that he can be presidential. And I believe Nigerians are earning for a different type of politics.
Okay, thank you. Lighton, there are different power blocks in Nigeria. Like, for example, the Southwest is a power block. The Southeast is a power block. The Northwest is a power block. There are power blocks in the middle belt. There are power blocks in the Northeast. There are different power blocks. And we know how these power blocks relate to each other. We saw in 2015 how the Northwest and the Southwest power blocks came together and produced Buhari. We saw again in 2023 how the same Northwest and the Southwest plus the Northeast came together, fused together, and produced Tinubu. So Obi has been going around. I know that Obi in 2023, Obi didn't go out actually to form an obedient movement. It was actually looking for a platform where it could become visible. But suddenly the obedient movement came around him. People who have been disgruntled, people who have, who have seen a lot of non-performance in the Nigerian economy, people on the, ordinary people on the street, they came together and said, this is our man. Now, if you look at the political mathematics, look at the total figures we got. If you match that with what the PDP got, the Labour Party and the PDP in the last election, if you put those two together, or if they have been together, they will have won the election. So what I'm thinking is that if Obi really wants to win the election, all this going to mosque to go and wear turban, all this eating conference, with people, what he needs to do is to try and work out how he can work with the PDP and the other bigger party, bring Kwankwaso back into PDP, or PDP and Labour Party can form they can form a kind of alliance, prevent Atiku from contesting, be the main man. If he does that, he's likely to win. Or if he wants to, he can rebrand the Labour Party, solve the problem, and then try to get votes from the PDP. What do you think? Please unmute yourself. Unmute.
Yeah, you are saying the obvious now. Right. But is Obi ready to do this? Obi is, the Labour Party is not popular in the Northeast, Northwest, only in the North Central. Right? The Plateau, the Kogi, all these things.
Yeah, the Christian belt.
Yeah, let him go to the core north. Let him familiarize himself with them. Let him go to Southwest. Let him the vote in the eastern part of the country and the North Central cannot win Obi the presidency. Right? But this is what people don't know. They are saying Obi. I saw over the weekend, I saw the political commentator saying Obi won. They stole it from him. They did it. I said, how can Obi win? Is it the vote in the east and the North Central that makes Obi win? What? And he was saying it with all seriousness. He was desperate with it, saying Obi won. No, Obi now, he should have sat down by now and be going from one place to the other. Go to the eastern state, go to the western state, go to the southern state, be consulting with people. He should all the political heavyweights there, be meeting them, be trying to be no, as a matter of fact, they are the main opposition in Nigeria now because we don't see any resistance from PDP. So this is what we want to be doing. If really is serious, he want to win the presidency from 2027. But nothing of sort. But when the election comes, they will be saying that they won the election, they stole it from them. It is not done. It is not a rocket science. You have to work hard for it. It's what you have to do. You don't do it. But during the election, you will be happy. Is it movement that will do the job for you? No. You have to make consultation with Nigerian system. You have to come meet people. You have to meet opinion leaders. You have to meet political leaders. Not going from church to church, from people to people. It will be won the election because of people they are disgruntled with the government in power, the APC. So that they have sympathizers, right? But later, when they discover that they want to be appealing to ethnic sentiment, people reverse. So Obi now, for a serious presidential candidate, you should be going from one place to another now. This is what I expected of him. Your party restructure it. Look for ways. It's a give and take. Like whatever my cause of and say, Ajero, call them together. Make sure you find an amicable resolution among these people. Then you move forward. Like these are the people, they are the wings that can go and debate, that can go and people, opinion leaders who are going to meet here, these people you are going to meet here, the youth, you need to work on the youth, you need to work on the age grade, you need to work on the people, the heavyweight politicians. These are the things that I expected him to be doing. Not that the party you don't recognize the Abure, you don't recognize the Ajero, you don't none of your people attended the convention. The INEC doesn't, the house itself is divided. And 2027 is it will be, oh, they want to win power. It's not like that. So that is it.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I respond to a couple of things? So I think if we are still thinking that the Labour Party or the Obidient movement is an Eastern movement, I think we're not doing a good justice. The reason the Labour Party won in Lagos State is not because Easterners came out to vote. No, it's because there were enough Westerners who crossed from supporting the APC or the PDP to voting for Labour Party. That tells me that Nigerians now actually are more open and are yearning for whoever can provide good governance. If there's probably anything that the 2023 presidential elections has taught us, is that we are now at a stage in Nigeria where people are looking for good governance. They want the right proceeds of democracy. And with what has been happening now after the elections, with people complaining of hunger, even people who supported and voted for the APC now saying, what's going on? There are many more crossover votes that Obi can potentially get. I think the challenge now is, can he galvanize all the warring factions in the Labour Party together? Can he, bring everybody, all the parties together? There is an element, or there are elements in the party, I would say, that are working against the interests of the party. I can assure you that. Why is it that the PDP is almost not functional today? Why is it that the PDP is almost where's Atiku in all of this? Where is Atiku going around, visiting communities that are getting impacted, doing what a normal opposition party should do in Nigeria? The PDP is ultimately decimated. And one of the reasons I do not see Peter Obi going to the PDP is because there are other stakeholders in PDP who have been there for a long time. There's Tambuwa, there's Wiki, who in their own regards believe that if the presidency is going to be coming to the South, they should be the ones that should be there, not Obi. So, the PDP is decimated. They will remain decimated for a long time until they go out of relevance. I think there's an opportunity for another party to come together and become a real opposition. The question is that going to be the Labour Party? Is it going to be a new party, floated around the Obidient movement? Or is it going to be the Labour Party and maybe a few of the other smaller regional parties that will come together? That is the question that remains to be answered. And that is where we need to see what Obi will do. And if he does it successfully, he will actually prove to Nigerians that he can be presidential, he can work across ethnic and religious lines, and it will become another viable option that Nigerians can look at.
Thank you. Lighton, I'm going to ask you this as a last question. So now, based on what you have said, let's assume that Peter Obi brings out his magic wand and he brings the different warring passion in Labour, Abure, Ajero, even with Lamidi Akwampa, bring everybody together, resolve the problem, reform the party becomes strong, and they go into the 2027 election. Do you think, based on the power blocks in existence in Nigeria, I mean, we all know that the Northwest and the Southeast, they have a long-term distrust. I mean, the Hausa Fulani and the Igbos, they have a long-term distrust. They are not going to vote for the Igbo. The Igbos are not going to vote for them. You understand? So based on that, you can see the pattern of voting in the 2023 election. You can see Obi got votes in the Christian belt, in the middle belt. He didn't do well in the Northeast. He didn't do well in Northeast and Northwest. You understand? So he did well in Labour in Lagos and in Osun State because there were votes. These were votes that people, they are protest votes. People are voting against the regime of Buhari, especially because of the petrol issue. There was currency issue. People protested. They came together and protested. So, do you see a strong Labour Party, competing for power by itself without having any kind of alliance with PDP, with SDP, with ABGA? Do you think a Labour Party can by itself win an election in 2023?
Let's go back to memory lane. When Tinubu wanted to wrestle power from Jonathan, what did he do? He consulted around the whole country. He went from northeast, northwest, north south. Inviting people from PDP, from PRP, from all these parties. Right? They form a mega party. You see Obi doing that now. Labour Party cannot do anything more than what they did. A lot of people have learned that, okay, Labour Party, okay, this is their strength. Right? And not only that, the way they hijack Labour Party. For people, they won the presidential election in Lagos State. And they went to the secretariat. They said they were attacked, they were using Biafra flag. So these are the things we are talking about. If Obi is serious and is desirous of winning the election, by now he should be going. I saw how Baba Kande went to go and woo Saraki, went to the Kogi State to go and woo the Dino Melaye, all these people from PDP, from in the east, in the south, bringing in Apapio and all this. Everybody, they brought them into. So they have mega party to wrestle power from Jonathan, PDP. And which they did. But do you see Labour Party doing that? And later on, they will be saying that they win the election. Right? So I don't see them moving from the winning that one would stay the one. I'm telling you, come 2027, if the party is decimated like this, and eventually if they go to any party, they might with any party, they cannot win the government. So I don't see them if they don't come together, they don't form. They don't all these people. They are one faction in their party. They can't do anything. Labour Party cannot do anything. That is my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shukwa, do you have anything to comment just for 1 minute before we round up?
Yes, very quickly. I think if we look at the timeline that Peter Obi had, after he left the Labour Party to join another party, and
after he left PDP, you mean?
After he left PDP, it's a very, very short timeline. And so I think with the performance that the Labour Party was able to show, I think it's a very, very strong accomplishment. I believe that the party can build on that. And I think this is going to be the real test for Peter Obi, the real test of leadership and the real test of governance. If he can successfully bring all the warring parties together, either within the Labour Party, resolve their issues, or float a new party, whatever that arrangement is, I think there is a movement. There's no question about that. That has galvanized around Obi.
So you think that Obi with the Labour Party, if the Labour Party functional, if they are united, you think they can wrestle power by themselves in 2027?
Well, that's what the APC did.
Do you think the Labour Party can wrestle power by itself without any other alignment, with maybe a PDP with other parties?
I think the Labour Party on its own will have a strong challenge in taking power on its own. Personally, I believe there has to be some form of alliance with some of the other parties, maybe the SDP, APGA, maybe with both. That is what I see in terms of a formidable opposition. Personally, I think the PDP is done as a political party. The fact that they cannot They have not been acting in the space of a formal opposition. They cannot even resolve the issues that they have internally with, the 5G governors not really working, for Atiku in the last presidential election, and with no consequences for that. To me, shows that the party is dead already. It still legally exists as an entity, but as a political party, I think it's losing and will continue to lose relevance in the Nigerian political space.
You see, the reason why I asked that question is that when you look at the votes Obi got, the vote Labour Party got in the presidential election, there's actually no need for the Labour Party to align with APGA. If you look at the presidential election, Obi got all the APGA is a regional party based in the southeast. Obi got all the votes. So aligning with APGA would not change the dynamics. It will not change the mathematics. So now when you look...
So you are looking at it only from the lens of the presidential election.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yes. I'm looking at Obi becoming president.
Okay. So
that's the only thing I'm looking at.
So the issue is, to be a president is one thing. To be a president of a political party that also has influence across Nigeria is a different thing. You see, the reality is Obi singly becoming president of Nigeria is not going to solve all of the problems. You see, why do we think the APC worked with Wike to win, the presidential elections in Rivers? Why did we suddenly have, PDP governors crossing the carpet into APC? Before, you need, apart from winning the presidency, you also need governors. You need members in the state to be able to make a strong impact. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me pause you. You are right. Okay, that's the second layer. Okay.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that the Labour Party or the Obidient movement in the last election, they got all the votes they can ever get. I don't think they can improve more than, because they got all the votes in the southeast. They got substantial vote in Lagos and in the southwest.
In Lagos, not in the southwest. Yes.
They got in the southwest. Yeah, they got in the
not a whole lot.
Okay, so now they got all the majority of the Christian votes in the Middle Belt. The only place where they didn't do well is the northeast, the north, and the northwest. You understand? They got majority of the vote in the south. So if you look at that mathematics, they actually got the best of what they could have got. The Obi did very well. The only problem he had is that he didn't have a bridge to connect to the northwest and the northeast. So what I'm trying to say is that Obi could build a very strong Labour Party, put everything together, have a clean house, have a functional party. If he does not, either by good means or crook means, take away the votes from the PDP to himself, or go back to the PDP, talk to Atiku from not contesting, appeal to PDP to present him, because now he is the candidate to beat. When you take Atiku out of the equation, Wike cannot have the Obidient Party. That Wike is no longer in the class of Peter Obi. So Obi has built a functional movement that even the PDP will benefit from. So if he can go back to PDP with the Obidient movement, or he can have an alliance to work together, they might be able, based on the mathematics we saw in the last, Obi may be able to win and I can tell you, if the Labour Party did not win any governorship in the southeast, if they are all PDP, once Obi become president, they will support him. It's one of their.
So I agree. I agree with a lot that you have said. I think if we look at certain key indicators, the first thing is that Atiku is not done contesting the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's going to come back in 2027. Mark my words. That is one reason why Obi is not going back to the PDP.
Yeah, Atiku is a super spoiler.
He's going to, and he's already said it. He's nowhere to be found now. By 2026, we'll
see come back. Yeah. Anyway,
secondly, you see, for people like Wiki, Aminu Tambuwal, who have been long-standing members of the PDP, you see, they can't go to another party. They can't go to the APC now because there's a long list of people in the APC who, will get,
that's a no-go area. That's a no-go
that's
area.
a no-go area. So the only place for them to still remain is the PDP. And there is no way Obi is going to come back that they're going to give Obi the mandate. They will stand as leaders who have sacrificed for the party, who have financed for the party, who have done everything for the party. It is their turn. Obi should go and wait. I'm just giving you reasons, and you will see some of the indicators. When people like Daniel Buwaya are now talking with two sides of their mouth, it will tell you that the PDP as a political party has lost relevance.
I think if the PDP wants to remain relevant in Nigeria politics in 2027, they should be able to put their foot down and tell Atiku to his face that we've had enough.
Well,
already people like Bode George, they'll be saying it that they will not present Atiku in 2027. Right?
2027 should be
blood
for another southern candidate to complete the 8 terms. So if they can block Atiku from contesting, it's going to be there between maybe Wike. And because Wike has been doing a lot of anti-party activities, I will be looking for them to kick him out of the PDP anyway, and then present somebody, And as Chukwa said, somebody like Tambuwa is not going to contest 2027 because he knows that slot still belongs to the South. But Tambuwa is now in control of the Northwest votes. So that block is in his hand. So anybody who wants to be a president then will have to be talking to him. And possibly Tambuwa may want to be, if Obi is going back, Tambuwa may want to say, yeah, okay, if you want us to work together, then I'll be vice president. So that when you finish your term, I can put my foot in. So, but
you see,
to think that the Obidient movement can grow so large that they can win an election by themselves,
it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Okay, so let's look at it in a couple of other terms, because you see, with the PDP, something happened in the PDP that's never happened in any political party in Nigeria just before the 2023 elections. For the very first time, Middle Belt strong stakeholders with the Southern stakeholders got together and they put forward a memorandum to their party.
Say that again.
The stakeholders in the Middle Belt, people like Jerry Ghana, all of them got together with the G5, and they all spoke with one voice that the presidency should come to the South. The party did not listen to the voice of that bloc. And what happened? They worked against Atiku in the presidential elections. That rift till today has not been resolved. It still exists. And
I'll tell you what, Atiku doesn't care.
You see, so, and again, he is coming back in 2027, mark my words.
And they will lose again.
What, in fact, people like Karim Afegbua was very vocal. People were not mincing words. They were speaking publicly. On news outlets, in television interviews, and the party did nothing to bring its rank and file together. And how do you bring people together? You don't give them money. In fact, at the time, people were saying, this is not about money. It's not. This is about, yes, it's about principle. And if, as a political party, we cannot resolve this issue, then we say we want to govern Nigeria. So that rift has not been resolved. And if Atiku comes back again in 2027, it will be the time.
It will be worse than what it is now.
It will be worse than what it is now. And where there may be an opportunity for Labour Party is that elements within the PDP who don't see a future for themselves will either go to the APC or come to the Labour Party.
Okay, Shukbo, I think we've come to the end of today's deliberation. Okay, you want to say something quickly?
No. Yeah, I just want to add that I wish Atiku can step down, right, for a formidable candidate that might come from PDP. I mean, the party is, we need a good opposition in Nigeria, right? Obi, the Labour Party, they are not doing enough. They are in disarray. So we need formidable opposition from them. So the government in power will stand with the back, right? So I mean, enough. Like people always say, that our critics, they do more than harming us. They tell us where lies our problem. So I mean, I believe if we have a good opposition in Nigeria, Nigeria will be better off. And thank God, President Tinubu is on the right path.
Yeah,
Nigeria is good. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That we have a president that is doing well.
What any past president has not done, he's doing it. Right now, we are seeing the result.
So thank you, gentlemen, for coming to today's meeting. I want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Olalawal, all the way from Canada. Thank you for coming to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
And my very good friend, Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, all the way from United States of America. Thank you for coming to today's meeting.
Yeah, it's my pleasure being here.
And I didn't have the time to say Happy Easter to you guys. So happy Easter to you and to all our viewers. Happy Easter. We're going to see you again next week. Thank you. God bless you.